Hello, I'm Dr. Angelo Landricina, aka Dermangelo, board-certified dermatologist, skincare maven, and part-time model. I want to thank Mixed Makeup for having me back for a second installment of their Skincare Expert series. If you didn't see my last video in this series, you should definitely go check it out because it caused a lot of conversation. Today, we will be covering a skincare concern that has been very popular on social media as of late, and that's hyperpigmentation. This is an issue that so many people suffer with, and it can have different causes from post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation, those with acne, melasma, which is a type of hyperpigmentation that's a chronic condition, or even just signs of aging, which is the type of hyperpigmentation that I'm suffering from right now. I always say that hyperpigmentation takes a team approach to get the best results, and that means using multiple different actives to achieve your goals, and we'll get into why that is. Before I start in with the routine, I just want to thank today's sponsor, Versed. Today I'll be giving you a little bit more insight into their new Out of Sight Dark Spot Gel. So let's start our routine. This is an AM routine which has a focus on both sun protection and using some powerhouse ingredients for hyperpigmentation. Chief among them will be hydroxy acid, so I'm going to be starting out with Kate Somerville's ExfoliKate Cleanser Daily Foaming Wash. That's a mouthful. This is one of my all-time favorite exfoliating products. I have sensitive skin, and one of the tricks that I have for getting hydroxy acids into your routine if you have sensitive skin is using them in wash-off formulations. This is the type of cleanser that I might use 2 to 3 times a week. It's got a blend of AHAs and fruit enzymes that help aid in exfoliation. So, like I was saying, this is an AM routine, and I know some of you out there are probably wondering, like, oh, why would you use hydroxy acids in the morning? Isn't that bad? Aren't you not supposed to have sun exposure when you're using AHAs? And the answer to that is yes. However, the sunburn alert that you will see on a lot of hydroxy acid products applies whether you use it in the morning or at night. It's not the fact of the acids being exposed to UV light that's an issue. It's the changes that they make in the epidermis that are the concern. So those changes will still be there in the morning if you're using your hydroxy acid products at night. For that reason, it doesn't matter if you use them in the morning. This product has been a staple in my skincare stash for years. I feel like it's just like a really gentle cleanser, and I like the mix of having your hydroxy acids together with exfoliating enzymes. I'm always saying you shouldn't over exfoliate, and exfoliation isn't a must for everyone. It can be really helpful to increase skin cell turnover, which can help alleviate hyperpigmentation. And like I said before, we're going to be using several actives in this routine, so having your hydroxy acids in the wash-off step is going to help prevent any irritation. Just gently patting dry. As you know, you shouldn't go in with the hydrating or moisturizing steps of your routine on a dry face. You want to lock in some moisture. One of the ways that you could achieve that is just leaving your face a little bit damp after you wash it. The other way is to use some sort of solution, an aqueous solution. If you're confused by that term, it applies to anything that's liquid in nature and water-based. So people call them essences, toners, skins, things of the like. I will actually be using a facial spray. It's Niod Superoxide Dismutase Saccharide Mist. This mist has been a staple in my skincare routine for some time now. It has the potent antioxidant superoxide dismutase. As you know, antioxidants are important during your day routine because free radicals are one of the main ways by which sun exposure damages the skin. Free radicals are molecules that have an extra electron that they can kind of freely donate to other molecules, and in doing that, they cause damage and kind of wreak havoc within the skin. Part of the reason I like this so much is that it's very easy to use. Like, there you go, I'm already done. This makes it really easy to get your antioxidants in the morning. I also like using this on my body, if I'll be, exposing any of that, say going to the beach or something like that, I'll take this along with me and spray it on before I reapply my sunscreen. Now that my face is sufficiently damp, I'm going to go in with a hydrating serum. Today I'm using the Jordan Samuel Skin Hydrate Facial Serum. The name says it all. This has some great humectants like glycerin, but I decided to include it in this routine because it also has a vitamin C derivative. Vitamin C is one of those staple ingredients to use for hyperpigmentation. So you're kind of getting a 1-2 punch with this. It goes on really light. I think one of the things that I've noticed about certain hydrating serums is that they may not play well with other products and can cause pilling. I've never had an issue with pilling with this serum. I'm also sure never to forget my neck. I kind of get tech neck, and hydrating this area will kind of make those lines less apparent. Next, we are going to further treat our hyperpigmentation using Verst's Out of Sight Dark Spot Gel. Now, to fully understand our approach to treating hyperpigmentation, it's important to understand how melanin pigment is produced and dispersed within the skin. Melanin is produced by cells called melanocytes. Those melanocytes live at the basal layer or the bottom layer of the epidermis, which is the outer region of the skin. The main cell that makes up the epidermis is called the keratinocyte. Now, each melanocyte has these finger-like projections that allow it to come into contact with about 36 keratinocytes, and it's through those projections that it disperses melanin. Most of the ingredients that we use to treat hyperpigmentation either target this enzyme called tyrosinase, which is an enzyme that takes tyrosine amino acids and starts to turn them into melanin pigment, or they target the process by which melanin is dispersed in melanosomes, which are kind of these cellular vehicles that carry the melanin from the melanocyte to the keratinocyte. Within the Out of Sight Dark Spot Gel, you're going to have 3 powerhouse ingredients that target different steps in the melanin synthesis and dispersal pathway. The first of them is tranexamic acid. This is an ingredient that's kind of new in skincare. It's been used as a medication for a very long time within medicine and is being used more commonly in dermatology for melasma right now. Its main mechanism of action is thought to have to do with blocking the effect of UV radiation on melanin pigment production. Next, we have kojic acid. This is an acid that directly inhibits tyrosinase, which is the enzyme that I told you about, which is the rate-limiting enzyme in melanin synthesis. Next, we have niacinamide, which I'm sure you all are familiar with. It's used in a host of skincare products for its calming effects, but it also does have an effect on pigmentation. Specifically, it helps to inhibit the transfer of melanosomes, those cellular vehicles for melanin, to the keratinocytes, which make up the epidermis. So one of the things that I like about this dark spot gel is that you use it as a spot treatment. The texture of it lends to being able to go for specific dark spots or treating specific areas where you suffer from pigmentation. In my case, I have these solar lentiginous, which have developed on my nose over time from sun exposure over the course of my life. So I could even use the applicator here. Also, if you have like discrete spots of post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation, I could see this being really helpful, going in and just treating those specific spots. I'll let that dry down a little bit. Lastly, no day routine would be complete without sunscreen. I'm constantly telling my patients that suffer from hyperpigmentation or other pigmentary disorders that sun protection is really the most important thing. more important than any skincare ingredient or prescription that you're going to get for your hyperpigmentation. Usually what I say is anything that I'm going to do for you will be rendered nearly useless if you're exposing your skin to the sun. So as part of a sun protective strategy, you have sunscreen, trying to stay out of the midday sun, using protective hats, sunglasses, things like that. Also, seeking shade when you're outdoors. The sunscreen that I'm going to be using today is Mantl's Invisible Daily SPF 30. Now, you may be saying to me, what? You're not going in with a moisturizer? Most facial sunscreens have moisturizing ingredients in them anyway. So I always say, you know, facial sunscreen and moisturizer with SPF are basically interchangeable. Feel free to layer moisturizer onto your sunscreen though if you feel like you have drier skin. So, you may be saying right now, but Dr. Angelo, this is a sunscreen marketed towards bald men for their face and scalp. Why, yes, it is. It is also a great sunscreen because it is completely clear. It's great for all skin tones. And while I know that other brands make clear sunscreens as well, you're getting a lot of bang for your buck with this. This is a 98 ml container. And look at that, 0 white cast. This also has a really nice hydrating gel-like texture that has a matte finish. So I've heard from some people that they like this as a makeup base. Don't forget your ears. And there you have it. That's my quick and easy AM routine for hyperpigmentation. You can find product links below, including Verse Out of Sight Dark Spot Gel. Influencers, am I doing it right? And if you want to see more from me, make sure you're following along on all social media, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, all at Dermangelo. Ciao.